the awkward moment of going live, trying to make sure, because I rush in, I've just been doing other stuff. I rush in and I sit down and think, oh my goodness, I didn't look at myself in the mirror. And here I go with a really weird initial picture again. And then I kept thinking, what am I going to do today? What would be nice? Hey, Caitlin, welcome back. Oh, I think welcome back. Are you still away, or are you returning? I watched you. Your photos were beautiful. Honestly, I think you should put your photos on canvases. Your home now. Did you have a good time? That's the main thing. Can you hear me okay without the headset? Hey, Lauren, how are you going? Hey, Sherry. Hi, Jeanette. How are you all going? Can you hear me, or do I need to put a headset on? Excellent. Yes, beautiful. Thank you. Susan, how you going? Hey, Jane, how are you? Oh, all the old gang on board. How beautiful is this? I'm so excited. No headset needed. I've been trying to feel okay. I've been trying to feel out what to do with these sessions. Like I still haven't quite got my, I haven't got my motion on, or whatever you like to call it. I haven't got into the groove with it all yet. And I was thinking, what are we going to do with these sessions? How are you, Carolyn? And I'm still not 100% sure what's the best thing to do with these sessions. I think they're always good for that chat too. And I love it when someone sort of gets some sort of conversation going that we can all sort of chime in on. And that's really fabulous. So I want to say I really want to, yes, I did. That everybody, actually it was really a surprise for me. I've done crystal ball readings before and I like doing them, but they're a little more sort of sporadic because you're sort of picking up on images. And I worried that that was visually enough for Facebook, because there are a couple of awesome readers on Facebook who do completely intuitive readings. And I always think, is it sort of as attractive with a crystal ball sitting there because you're just reading? And I was never really sure how it would be received. But you know what? I had such beautiful feedback. I had so many emails from people who just found so much resonated within the reading for them. And I had the most, and if those people are watching now that might not want to sort of say or speak up, I want to say your emails, there was a couple of them. I know, Caitlin, I get that, but it's always a worry that people aren't going to enjoy sort of visually watching it. But I had 2 emails that brought me to tears. They were just absolutely amazing. And I know that I can't. Hey, Scott. And Sarah, how are you going? And it just blew me away because oh golly, I don't even know what to say. I was so emotional reading the email that people had taken the time to send to me, and they were for no other reason other than to share what they got from that reading. It was so phenomenal, and it absolutely and totally just blew me away. So I want to say, you know, if you got something from that, that's really wonderful. Did Joanne come on in the meantime? She did too. How are you, Joanne? You just snuck through. So it was something that I haven't done for a while. So I have the most beautiful sister. Some of you know my story. Beautiful. Some of you know my story with my family. And my sister, Sylvie, had said to me before, can you read with a crystal ball? And I said, yeah, I've done it before. And I don't have a huge crystal ball. It's not very large. It's quite a small one. And I've always wanted to buy myself a big one. And now I know how this works. I would really love to do that. But you can do it with any sort of crystal ball. I've always done the crystal ball. It's a bit like reading with normal playing cards. There's this sort of things that came through with me, I guess, past life stuff that I remembered as a child. So I used to do it all the time. But it's just been something I just didn't think would work so well on YouTube. So, I've learned a new thing, haven't I? Because of the fact that I couldn't believe some of the emails I got. They were just amazing. So thank you so much for supporting me and doing that. And I will do it more often. I guess the thing is with the crystal ball reading, as I said, it's sort of, you getting it through in different messages. So it's not like it sort of tells a story. It's just sort of bits and pieces that you sort of have to put together. It's a very different sort of reading, but yeah, really enjoyed doing it. Yeah, I'm going to do it more often. So this is my new thing, finding out all these things now. Thank you, Sue. Thank you. We had Susan come through too, didn't we? A couple of Susans come through. So a couple of the people wrote to me, said that a lot of stuff in there resonated, but then so did a lot of stuff for other people too. Absolutely beautiful. So I'm so thrilled with that. But we've all been doing so much work lately around learning new things. And I keep saying to people, as much as I sit up here, you know, talking to you guys about what I read and what I do, I still am on my own personal journey. So as much as those onion layers get ripped off, I think Lauren said that last time, there is a really strong feeling, you know, that I sort of am still peeling back layers too, and I've still got lots to do myself. So I welcome that with open arms. But yeah, sometimes it's sort of the journey is so incredibly enlightening. Your mum called you Susan. Yeah, Susan, I guess Susan's quite, it's not an uncommon name. And I know I've done platform readings before, and often the names that come through are really obscure. And I think, oh, wow, if somebody knows that name in the audience, that's pretty cool. The name Susan is quite sort of, it's not an uncommon name, especially from my childhood. But it was different coming through like that. So, yeah, so it's all very interesting, isn't it? I'm about to, I'll tell you a little story. I decided I'd buy myself a different screen so that when I do the live coaching show, I could have a little background and I could sit in a different place and make it a very different environment. So I sort of got some things ready to talk about. I bought a new screen and it arrived, and then not cheap, so it was a bit of a treat. And it arrived this morning and it had got damaged mail, and I didn't realise it when I accepted it. And I've had so much trouble getting the company to understand because the company is one of those ones that's sort of sellers that represent a whole group of sellers, basically. Oh, that's so cool. That's a good sign, Sarah. Sarah, you and I were on par with each other yesterday. Anyway, so I tried to get in touch with the company to say that the screen was damaged and I need another one, or a replacement one, for a couple of $100. So, you know, it's a lot of money to spend on something. And all the site just kept doing was redirecting me all the time, which was really annoying. So and finally somebody came through and said, well, just go into your account and do all these things. And I was like, I don't have an account with you. I bought it outside of an account. So if I can't go into account, how do I get someone to listen to me? So we went round and round in circles, and I'm still waiting for a response. So that was a bit of a pain in the backside because I wanted to get the coaching thing up, but I don't want to use the same environment that I use for the cards or for the YouTube readings or coaching. I want to do that separately. So I'm in the middle of trying to organise that. But if there's any subjects that you would like me to talk on in terms of coaching, please let me know so that I can make sure they're on my list. I've already got a list of subjects that I want to talk about, but if you feel there's something that you would really like for people to discuss, so I've got all the things we've talked about along the way, like you know, the inner child stuff, the trauma stuff, narcissistic relationships. So some of those things I've already got the material together to talk on, and I will talk more on those. But if there's something else you sort of want more detail on, or you want me to talk about, let me know. But it's been fabulous. It's already starting to take off, which is awesome. So I have now, I think, 30 people doing coaching with me, and it's been just amazing. And I realised this morning that a lot of those people on the journey are really, oh, wow, that's a heavy one, Sarah. Yeah, that's really heavy stuff right there. Oh, well, if you feel that you need to talk about it, you know where I am. So yeah, so I realised that the journey doing the coaching has been, you know, really incredibly good for some people who really have needed the help to sort of get out of their own way. But I've been learning from it too, which is really cool because I'm coming from a different perspective now with that as well. So what do we want to do today? Do you want to have a reading? Perhaps we should have a bit of a reading. You should see my place. I'm the most neatest and tidiest person in the world. And my place just not the house, not at all. My house is plenty tidy. But my office has got like paperwork everywhere and things everywhere when I'm trying to work out new resources for everybody. Oh, you want me to do one card reading, Scott? What for everybody on here? Yeah, I know, Jane. I can't seem to solve the problem with the cutting in and out. Wendy, how are you going? So, all right, I can do one card readings for you, but there's quite a lot of people on here, and if people see me doing one card readings on here, they sometimes bombard the channel. Hey, how are you, Carla? So I'm happy to do a reading, but I think it might be better just to do a general reading. So what would you like a reading on? Hey, Wendy. What would you like a reading on? Would you like a love reading, a career reading, first person up, a mini general? See, there you go. All right, we'll do a general reading. Because this will be for you guys. It's not for everybody because I'm picking up on your energies in the room. So Wendy playing up at work. Yes, you can speak to Lauren because apparently you're both at work today. So I might find out where you work. Oh dear, well, I'm at work too, right? I never really thought about that, but I'm at work too. So don't forget to put thumbs up for me on the reading too so we get it out there. It's been really, there's been some strange things on YouTube. Some of the sound stuff is YouTube stuff. I've been having trouble with the uploading of videos. Some of them upload with, and they've got really good sound on them when I upload them, and they even play with really good sound on YouTube. But people have trouble when they watch them sometimes with volume. So apparently it's a YouTube problem. But what happened was we get like sort of, we used to get, we get a little bit of money, very small amount of money for the ads. But the revenue on our ads has gone right down, and they've now got twice as many ads in the videos, and our revenue's gone really low. And a couple of the big readers were saying that their revenue's been cut in half, and yet they're getting twice as many ads. So a couple of people have said to me, there's a lot of ads in your videos. And I'm like, well, I really don't understand why YouTube is putting a lot more ads in but not paying us as much. So, yeah, definitely paying more ads, but giving us less money for it. So just remember that. The bell ringing has been another problem, and I feel also the sound, the ads is really loud and the videos are in and out, and I don't know if that's a problem YouTube are having or whether the ads are intentionally louder for you. So, hey Jules, how you going? Jules asked me this morning, I was doing a reading, and as I was talking, now this may not make sense for everybody, okay? When I was doing the reading, I got this big rush. Like it just felt like everything was happening so quickly. And which is really strange because you get the general energies of the reading. But this poem came in, and it came in the middle of the poem. And I couldn't remember because I was concentrating on listening to the message, and I couldn't remember what the poem was. And then, of course, I finished the reading and forgot. And the lovely Jules came in and said, what was the poem? And I was like, oh, my goodness, The Man from Snowy River. But I couldn't remember at the time. Oh, Carolyn, that's beautiful. Thank you. YouTube, get your act together. We need to make our own YouTube, I think. Anyway, so if you do not know the poem The Man from Snowy River, starts with something like there was something at the station, for the word had got around. There was panic at the station. Okay, can you remember it, Lauren? Yeah. YouTube do the ads. We don't have any responsibility for the ads. There was Clancy of the Overflow. Is that it? Is that it? I thought it was the Man from Snowy River. There was something at the station, for the word had got around that the Man from Old Regret, Clancy of the Overflow. It is true. Thank you. So I don't know where I got Man from Snowy River. It was Clancy of the Overflow. Yeah. So when I got the poem through, it was like the panic, because in the story something had happened. The horse had got away, or the horses had got away, and I remember the panic, and I felt that in the reading. So it was like there was this big rush, this big panic. So that's what that was all around. And then I've just done this, and I've got the Emperor out. So let's get into your reading. So the Emperor. All right. So we know the Emperor. I'll have to get the poem and read it out now, because I haven't got any way. Hang on a second. I've just had an idea. Oh my goodness, I've got messages everywhere. Okay, just hang on a second. This is an unusual thing to do. Fancy of the Overflow, Banjo Patterson. Okay, overviews. I just want to play the YouTube. It's telling me all about it, but doesn't show me the actual. Oh, I can't get the poem up. What is that about? Check on Wikipedia. Oh no, it's got. Nope. All right, I'll have to find it another time and read it for all the people that aren't Australian. Oh, Caitlin's got the poem. Oh, I can't find it on here. It gives you all the descriptions and all that's going on, but it doesn't actually give you the poem. Or search for poem. Nope. All right, I'll bring it on next time. Clancy of the Overflow. All right, so we have here the Emperor. So the Emperor is a card that talks about someone who's an Aries. It talks about someone who's very experienced, very knowledgeable, someone who's quite powerful, can sometimes be a little controlling, a little over the top, but can represent the divine masculine. Some of you getting an offer from someone. The cult from Old Regret had got away. That was all that. There was movement at the station, for the word had got around that the cult from Old Regret had got away. You know what? I just felt the energy of it. So it's quite interesting, isn't it, that the poems come through when you're reading. It's like Spirit says, this is the poem, this is the song, this is the energy. So you immediately get the energy of that. You know, everybody rushing around trying to make sure everything's right. So, okay, so you've got some sort of offer coming. Some of you have got an offer coming in from someone who's taking the energy of the divine masculine on. Now, don't forget that can be female too. Whoever this person is, they are taking back their power. And had joined the Wild Bush Horses. He was worth £1,000. I'm going to read it to you next time. Okay. It's written, for those of you who are not Australian, it's written by a very famous Australian poet, and it's a fantastic bit of writing. Very emotive. All right, so we have the Page of Cups coming through. Someone here is offering something that's coming up as the Ten of Pentacles. There's something very nice about this offer. So for some of you, you could be being offered a job here. Like, frankly, this could be a job offer. But something's definitely being offered to you here. I really feel like someone's seeing your value, but it could be the person who's offering your job here. It says money, but I feel like for some of you, this is relationship, and it's something solid that's going to take you into the future. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. What was the next card? All right, so the Hermit card's coming through. So some of you dealing with Aries or Virgo here. Some sort of truth coming out. Somebody sent it to you. Is that you, Caitlin? Just hang on a second. She did too. Well, you're gorgeous. There's no doubt about you, is there? But keep going with the reading and I'll come back to that afterwards. All right, so we have somebody coming in to make an offer. But we do have the Hermit card coming with the Ace of Swords. So whoever is bringing in this offer, whether it's a job or a relationship, there's some sort of change coming forward here. It could be that you're changing direction if it's a job. Oh, there you go, Jules. It must be for you. There's some sort of change of direction with the Ace of Swords. So if this is a relationship, you've got someone either making some sort of offer here where you have to make a decision whether this is viable. Does your person live at a distance, Jules? Because this feels like somebody wants to make an offer, but there's something here that needs to be changed in order for this offer to be given. So for some of you, it could be changing where you live. You might be offered a job at a distance, or Six of Wands is behind that. You could be being offered a job at a distance, or it could mean that you are being offered a relationship that's long distance, or possibly something you have to consider changing something for. Let's keep going and see what's here. Oh, here it is. Thanks, Caitlin. All right, then I'm just going to read the first little bit, and then we'll finish the reading. There was movement at the station, for the word had passed around that the colt from old regret had got away and had joined the wild bush horses. He was worth £1,000. So all the cracks had gathered to the fray. All the tried and noted riders from the stations near and far had mustered at the homestead overnight. Bushmen love hard riding when the wild bush horses are, and the stock horse snuffs battle with delight. There was Harrison who made his pile when Pardon won the cup, the old man with his hair as white as snow, but few could ride beside him when his blood was fairly up. He would go wherever horse and man could go. And Clancy of the Overflow came down to lend a hand. No better horseman ever held the reins. For never horse could throw him while the saddle girths would stand. He learned to ride while driving on the plain. So that was what it felt like when I was doing the reading. Hey, Gigi, how you going? Someone's got a relationship at a distance, that's for sure. So there's something here that you're getting here, something to do with a new relationship, but whatever this relationship offers you, whether that's a work relationship or a personal relationship, something big has to change in your world in order for this to move forward. So it's a possibility that your person could live at a distance, and it means you need to change places, or you may have to change the way you see a long distance relationship or accept something different. Something is changing. All right, so we have the Queen of Pentacles. So something was, you want this really badly, like you want to partner up with this person. There's a really strong feeling here that whatever this is, you want to have it really badly. You know it's going somewhere, you can see the potential of it. But there's something with this relationship that can't go ahead yet until something is changed. I guess with the Ace of Swords, it could mean somebody has to cut something out in order to move forward to you. So it could be that somebody needs to move closer to you rather than you moving close to them. But whoever this is willing to take a chance on you. It's really nice, isn't it? Whoever this person is wants to take a chance. You see potential. You see the potential in this situation. So if this is a job you're being offered, you can see the potential in it. But this person can also see a huge potential in you. Wow, okay. 7 of Cups. Some confusion about how to move ahead with it, but wanting the stability. So, okay, so you've got either a job or a relationship. Both people want this. Both people want to invest. Both people see the potential in each other. But there are changes that have to be made before this can move forward. So if this is a new relationship, it could mean changing where you live, or the other person has to change where they live. Something has to change. It could be that you're dealing with someone that's in another relationship or in another situation with the Ace of Swords, where things can't move forward unless the other person or yourself move away from your current situation. There's a very strong feeling here that there's a victory card, so we know this is going to move ahead. There's definitely movement here, but it can't move ahead until something changes. How are you, Brooke? All right. We have the Lovers card. So this is going to be a nice little happy ending. Something's going right with the Lovers card. I think there is a bit of a choice, but I feel like something here has to change before it can move ahead. Wow, okay. Someone has to cut someone out to move ahead. Right, so there's definitely a person in another relationship, but I do see them wanting to move forward with this. So definitely some sort of offer coming in, something you have to change or the other person has to change in order to move forward. I guess you know what that is if it's for you, but if this is something new that you're not expecting, whoever's coming in here has to change something to move forward. You have to sacrifice and change something. But this is definitely about some sort of sacrifice that has to happen. But both of you want it, so you're willing to make the sacrifices. So there you go. All right. I left myself an hour today for YouTube because I've rushed off in the last couple of weeks, and I haven't really got around to sort of spending a lot of time with you. Did that make sense for you, Jules? Is that your reading? Did I read for you? You said yes. I have a feeling that's resonating with you. I think most of us, yeah, I thought it might. I think most of us are ready to sort of embark on something new. Everybody's feeling a little bit sort of like they'd like to have something new in their life at the moment. So there seems to be a lot of very deep emotional energies in the readings, not just in mine, in other people's too. I do watch some of the other readers. We've talked about the other readers. I found a couple of new ones that I really like. And I've sort of started to, I've culled down how many people I watch because I was watching a few different people. I've culled it down to 2 or 3 now. That's your story too, Sarah. So I've been watching, I'm pretty sure her name is Awakened Soul Tarot. Does anybody know her? And I've been finding her readings have really resonated lately. I'm pretty sure that's her name. And some of the readings, some of the readers I've liked have moved off YouTube. I'm not sure if that's her name. No, I can't remember her name. Will the offer come before the sacrifice or the leap of faith first? I feel like nobody's going to be able to take the leap of faith unless they've sacrificed something. So I think both people are waiting till something is it's almost like a negotiation here. It feels like the energy of nothing can move forward until someone is willing to sacrifice something. But then I think once something's sacrificed, it can be taken up. Um, what if you say you can't converse with them because they're attached and it's not right? Um, haven't we been in that situation before? It's really hard when it depends on where the shoe is, or what foot it's on, I guess. If it's you're in a commitment and the other person is not, I guess you've got to make a decision on whether you want to move ahead with something or whatever. But I guess ethically, we sort of sit in that position of, is it right to sort of have a relationship with someone if they're in another relationship? But that's up to your own boundaries, your own ethics. So that's not something anybody can dictate to you. It's what you want to do. But sometimes it just is more. It hurts so much that it's much easier to just cut off contact rather than deal with the pain of it anymore, because it's very, very painful. Unfortunately, it seems to be coming up a lot at the moment with a lot of the unions of twin flames. So I'm just going to read. Yeah, the readings are changing, Jules. There's something going on for such a long time now. Sort of really, I think a lot of people are saying, well, this is, been going on for a long time, but they're all the same. So it's not like we're reading all different things. And I have a couple of astrologists who follow my readings and come in and tell me my reading fits with the astrology, which is a bluff for me. So I know that my readings are picking up on the energies. I know that I'm picking up on what's going on in me. But yes, I think so too, Joanne. I agree. Yeah. But in regards to your message, Lauren, I feel that many of us having a relationship, it's unfortunate if you're going to fall in love with someone who's already married anyway. It's a bit of a shame that you've had to do that to learn the lesson, but it's just really, really difficult to continue with that if you have really strong feelings for someone. It's so confusing, so much energy and emotion that you go through. But I presume that you're going through that to teach you the lessons. So I can understand where you're coming from, Lauren. Yes, it's probably much easier just to sort of say, I can't continue with this. It hurts too much and walk away. Yeah, I think we're seeing. I think we're seeing a general change, though. I do see a lot of people, especially now, even more with the readings and the coaching. A lot of people on very, very similar journeys. And I was watching a reading the other day saying that she was really amazed at how many people are on journeys. How are you, Lisa? How many people are on the journey at the moment of, having these relationships that are out of the box? And I think it's sort of really interesting, isn't it? Because we all have different concepts. So I'm going to sort of talk from my perspective, which I know people are going to agree with me. There are people who are not going to agree with me, and I respect both opinions. But there seems to be this idea that no matter how appalling, bad, or horrible your relationship is, that somehow you have to stay there, because in the 3D world, in the ego world, you are taught that you have to stay within a relationship. So I've met people who've been abused, physically abused, emotionally abused, spiritually torn. They stay in their relationship because they're worried what their friends will say, the general consensus of the community in that situation. And their fear is so great that they stay in an abused situation or abusive situation. And I feel a lot of the time people don't sort of give rise to the idea that, I guess once you get into the 5D mindset and you're up there with spirituality, all of the other stuff just drops away and it's really hard to understand. But I feel it's really sad when people feel that everybody else around them is more important than what they want or what they want in their own hearts. But it's their journey as well, and I guess none of us can really. You can encourage and you can certainly offer to help people if they need to move away from something. I would certainly recommend, if you're in a position to do that, you would give someone a hand. But at the end of the day, it's still their decision on whether they move away. And at the moment, this is happening a lot. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, Samaya. YouTube is doing a huge trouble. One of the people who fell in love with a married man. Yes, well, I got to all the years I did. Then, of course, it happened too, and it's really difficult, very difficult situation. And it is hard to understand the learning of it, but at the end of the day, there has to be a point where you, stopping cycles growing is easy. Yeah, I know. And it's heartbreaking, it really is. And lots of us have spent nights crying into our pillow thinking, why did this happen to me? Doing the whole victim thing and then realising at the end of the day that you have to learn how to work with your own emotions. And that's a big lesson for many people, having to understand that you can't always have what you want and you just have to accept that that's the way it is. But then we don't really choose who we fall in love with either. So that's really hard too. Because if you choose to fall in love with the right person, hey, you do that too, wouldn't you? So why are you then led to fall in love with people who can't be with you or choose not to be with you for whatever reason? And a lot of people see that as being rejected. And I always say to people, not being chosen by someone is not rejection. That is not you being rejected. It just can't happen that way. If you want to be with someone and they can't be with you, they are not rejecting you. They are choosing to be with someone else. And that's where it sits. You do not take any responsibility. Unfortunately, you've fallen in love, but you don't have a choice in that. It's unfortunate you've fallen in love with someone who's unavailable. You don't always have a choice in that. But at the end of the day, if they choose not to be with you, have not been rejected. And this has been a big lesson for me, okay? A big lesson, because we all suffer, and many of us here, and I know because I've worked with some, I understand. A lot of us suffer from abandonment issues as children, abandonment and attachment issues, and that is what it's there to heal. It's there to heal your inner child. It is there to heal your emotional state. It's there to help you work through those issues so you can have a beautiful relationship. So absolutely, Lauren, spot on. It's about self-love. It's about understanding you do not need someone else in your life to complete who you are. You are who you are, and that love you keep looking for outside of yourself is within you, but you've got to find it. But I did want to share a story, and I'm pretty sure the person, you don't know who they are, right? So, yeah, I've been working with a person for a long time. She overseas, a beautiful, beautiful person. I had a very strong connection. She was on a twin flame journey, and I'd been working with her for quite some time. And her twin flame had stayed asleep, come backwards and forwards, all the time telling her he was going to leave his wife, they were going to have this, fantastic time, and she and he would be together in those times, and then he would go. And I said to her, if you keep being the other woman, then he will never leave his wife because the decision's too easy for him to make. He can go backwards and forwards, and that's it. So a couple of months ago, he filed for divorce to come back to her, and she's fallen in love with someone else, and she's getting married. So that's what the universe does, unfortunately. So I don't know who is going to suffer the most for that. She was extremely happy when she wrote to me. She wanted to thank me for helping her on the journey. It's a treacherous journey. It's a lot of work on yourself. It's very heartbreaking. There's a lot of lessons to learn. For some people, that journey can take years. So, but when she wrote to me, she said she's getting married. I think she said she's getting married in September, and he filed for divorce. And his divorce goes through in August. And I was like, oh my God, they're finally going to be together. And she said, no, she fell in love with someone else. And I was like, oh, really beautiful for her. it's sad that he realised too late. I guess he'll move on with his own life and find someone else. At the end of the day, it was a beautiful story, and if she is watching for whatever reason, I want to give you so much love because I know how hard that journey was for you, and I'm so glad that you brought me into your journey with you because I think I learn a lot from you guys too. So it was beautiful, and I'm so happy for you, and I wish you only the best. I just want to go back and read. um, Oh, you've released. Good, Lisa. It's hard work. It's hard work releasing. And I always say to people, you don't really stop loving the person. It's just you don't have the attachment anymore. So you sort of get to a very peaceful place where you're sort of like, okay, I can move on and just carry on loving that person, but I can move on and get on with my own life now, knowing that I've dealt with the attachment. And that attachment, abandonment stuff, I mean, you have to do a lot of child work to get through that. But once you understand, it makes such a difference. Um, Thanks, Jules. Yeah, I realise that, but it's hard, Sarah, because you do go into the victim mentality. I don't know that, when you fall in love with someone so deeply that you look back at your life and you think, have I ever really been in love before? Because the feelings that come up for you, no, I don't think I ever have been. So it was a very potent energy. But if I'd have known now what I did before I started my journey as a younger woman, I wouldn't have done the same things. But in saying that, would I have changed my life? Probably not. But I understand now from my childhood and the perspective of growing up how I chose things that weren't right for me. But you know what? At the end of the day, I sit here now thinking, oh my goodness, I've learned so much, look where I am. So I can really appreciate and embrace the journey, even though it's been really heartbreaking. Absolutely. And I agree with you, Gigi. Whether it was meant to be or not, you've got to get to a point where you're actually saying to yourself, if this goes ahead, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it was beyond my control, or it wasn't meant for me. Or you have faith and trust that if it's meant for you and it's on your path and it's part of your destiny, then it will happen. And once you get to that mindset of, okay, if it happens, that would be amazing. If it doesn't happen, then that's okay too. And that's where you have to get to. And it's a very peaceful place once you get there because you're not craving it anymore. You still share some of the physical sensations, I might say, the energies of it, but it doesn't drag you in anymore to that heart space where you just feel sad about it, let's say that. Yeah, Jules, I think that it is a really hard journey doing that work, but I'm sure you agree with me, doing the work and understanding why it has to happen has so much impact on you as a person. And when you get to that place where you feel so content and so satisfied by where you are, and you no longer look back at the past goes, the overthinking goes, the energy you're spending thinking about that person, so often, like very often when you're in those really deep places where that person feels every little tiny void within you and you're constantly living that energy, it drags everything behind it. But when you get to the place where you feel that you've dealt with your baggage and you understand why you've been through what you have and you've learned from that journey, all of a sudden the release is just so amazing. And you sort of don't think about it so much anymore. It comes in every now and again and you realise your thoughts are not something you can control. Your thoughts are out of your control, but you're able to say, well, okay, instead of digging deep into that energy and getting stuck in that attachment again, you're able to say, thank you for reminding me. Yes. And you know what, Sarah, I think the victim mode thing is okay. You know, when you come out of something, when you lose someone, when you no longer have that person around you, for whatever reason, whether it's a death as in transition from life, or whether it's death because it's death of a relationship or a friendship, um, it's okay to be in victim mode for a little while. It really is. And I feel really strongly if people are in the victim mode and they need to talk about it, that's fine. But after a while, you have to realize that that energy is holding you back from the life you want. And when you release the energy, you're able to do things like I've done over the last 7 months now, where I can get my own life going and I can do what I need to do. I always thought I'd share that with someone. I always thought that this would be a time of my life when I would have somebody there to share it with. And you know what? I have myself. And that has been a tremendous thing for me because I am so happy and satisfied with what's happening in my life. And if nobody's here to share it with me, I'm 100%. Yes, yes. I I I think the hardest part. Oh, there you go, Caitlin. That's really good to know. Thank you for that. Um, I, yeah, my iPad. When I play the videos back, they're beautiful. They're perfect. I upload them on YouTube. I play the video back, perfect. And then some people will say I have no trouble with sound. Other people have trouble. So I'm really not sure why it is. Hey, Burmese Jade, how are you going? Thank you. Yeah, so what I want to say to you is if you're still not healing and you're still in that energy of craving, desire, of want, something that you can't have, then you're still needing to heal your inner child. You're still needing to do the healing. And it is really difficult. But if you're still feeling that, you need to heal. Hello, Eve. How are you going? Oh, Lauren, you've been around for such a long time. I feel so beautiful when you say things to me. Um, yeah, so I think that it's just a matter of understanding that that energy you were putting outside of yourself really needs to be siphoned back into you. That love that you're giving out to the universe that isn't being returned to you really needs to come from you. And that's beautiful. But, you know, in saying that, if something were to turn around, I don't know how I would react to it all. It's an incredible journey, and I'm so glad, and I feel so honoured that Spirit sent me on this journey and has given me the lessons along the way. And look at all you guys. Like, I get to appreciate all of this now, which is awesome, right? I've never had this much interaction with people. Thank you, Eve. That's beautiful. And I look at it now and I think I would not change anything on this journey at all. Because even though it's created a lot of drama for me along the way and a lot of, you know, mixed emotions and dealing with all my own crap and having to wade through all of the stuff I had to wade through to get to where I am and still am wading through. Wow. There's such an amazing energy that once you've done that, you just, the power you feel is just fantastic. So, back to your question, Lauren. Yeah, you know, if somebody can't make the decision to be with you, then I feel that you have to just understand that that's the decision they've made and just move on. Because if they can't be with you, like the girl I was talking about before, oh golly, it was just a beautiful, I had so many beautiful emails this morning. Oh my goodness, I was crying reading the emails from all these beautiful people. But if somebody can't make a choice to be with you for whatever reason, then that's their choice. You need to move on and you need to love yourself wholeheartedly. You need to put every bit of love into yourself. There's nothing you can't do. If you realized how powerful you were, you wouldn't even question where you are. You wouldn't even question anything about yourself if you knew how powerful you were. You know what's really funny? I agree with you. You do not stop coming back to me. The person, my person, I still, what do I call him? My twin, my person, whatever, was my biggest supporter. You know, really and truly, he made me realize my potential. So he was an amazing person who really saw a lot more in me than probably I saw in myself. And that is the most incredible thing. So I think, if nothing else, from this journey, I have gleaned so much from his love for me, really. So regardless of what's happened and how it's all turned out, the love he had for me has helped me move onto the journey. So I can't be angry, I can't be disappointed, I can't be anything else but just love him back from where I am. So it just seems really, ironic. The very person that saw the potential in you started me off on the journey. So, that's beautiful. That's beautiful, Burmese Jade. Thank you so much. Um, I had a beautiful. Like I said, I got a lot of readings, a lot of emails this morning. One person wrote to me and said, "When you first read for me, it meant nothing to me, and I really didn't understand reading." And I've had people say this before, and this is really the most important thing about reading. They have no time. They have no time. So I have readings from 20 years ago that tell me about the person I was supposed to meet, what they looked like, the colour of their eyes, who they were, where they came from, even down to the star sign. So, and I used to look at them and think, wow, okay, that hasn't come true, so I'm going to disregard that. And I kept a lot of the readings away, and some of the ones that had personal readings, this is going back. I've got a lot of readings from 2015, 2016 that talk about my work now. So when I got them, I remember I used to read them and look at them, and sometimes I go back and have a look that hasn't happened. That hasn't happened. And I had a woman write to me this morning and say, "You read to me, some time ago, and I remember thinking the reading didn't resonate, and I put it to one side." And she said, she just wrote to me today, she said, "Oh my goodness, everything has happened. But it took a long time to come around." She said, "Now I understand everything that you said to me, and everything is in this reading." So when you have a reading, sometimes if it doesn't resonate, it's because it's in the future and it's going to take time to come around. But if your readings aren't resonating and you're not meeting the person you're meant to be meeting, or you're not on your path doing what you need to be doing, then maybe you need to start looking at, what do I need to hear to get myself to? Because something within me needed to be healed, and I wasn't seeing it. And I was doing a lot of healing. Believe me, I can't even remember how long ago I started doing all this. I can't even tell you. But I still really hadn't got to the things that I needed to look at. And I think I was in a certain amount of denial about my childhood, because I'd been told by my family that I'd done really well, so therefore I shouldn't look back. We shouldn't talk about the past. We don't talk about the past, we forget about the past. And you didn't do so badly, did you? Look at you, you're doing all right for yourself. So I always thought, well, okay, I didn't have anything to heal there. I was okay. I just didn't realise it. But of course, once you start peeling back all the layers, and then you get into these, twin flame relationships or soulmate relationships that make you do a life with you, and you start to wonder, why am I this way? What is this attachment? What is this feeling I'm having? What are all these other things that are going on? And you start digging in and you start to change things. And then once I did that, all the readings that I read about started coming in. So it was me that needed to shift to get the reading. So it's all wonderful how it comes about. Why did the love feel so intense and deep? Because it was forbidden. I want to say to you that very often the reason that the love is so intense is because you haven't felt love before. That's my thinking now. I think that perhaps in the past I attached. When I think back to the first time I got married, I was so intent on leaving home. Home life for me was atrocious, and I desperately wanted to get out. And I left home at 15. So I sometimes talk about my experiences, but I think I was so desperate for someone to love me because I didn't feel loved. So I pretty much sort of took on the first energy I came across of someone who I felt would love me. But what happens is because you're vibrating at a very low vibration, you start looking who really are on a vibration to you. And, it becomes sort of somewhat of a disaster. And I think that, when you look back, you keep repeating these patterns of abuse because you don't really understand what love is because of your childhood. So when these relationships come in, these soulmate relationships, twin flame relationships, I just had a shift. When the relationships come in and the intensity of the love someone feels for you is so strange and so different, you realise that possibly you haven't really been loved by anyone before. And that's what brings it home for you. That's what makes the relationship so intense. Because for the first time someone's seeing you, they're not seeing a representation of you, they're not seeing someone that's going to, wipe their backside every time they go to the toilet. Like, you're not being seen as a wet nurse for someone. You're being seen as a human being. You're being seen right through to the soul. And if you haven't had that before, it's the most intense experience, knowing someone knows you. And that is what those relationships do. So all of a sudden then, you have to start looking at yourself then. And that's what it makes you do. It makes you go inside and look at who you are. And you've forgotten that through the years of all the other stuff that's been going on. You have to drop the masks. You have to really get intense. You have to get down and dirty with yourself. That means down to the very core of you. Pull it all apart and rebuild. And it's a shitload of work, but wow. Worth it. Okay. Yes, there's a good one. So intense sex, yes, definitely. You can have an incredibly intensive sex life and not be in love with someone. You might think that sex is love because of your upbringing. So the physical component of the sex makes you feel that you're being loved. Now, I know that that's a really intense thing to say, but it's true. It's very true. Some people mix sex with love. They mix the physical with the love. And the only way you find the difference there is by developing some sort of relationship with someone that isn't sexually based. And then you understand love. So when people say to me, what's a healthy relationship? I don't think I've ever had one. I say to them, show me a relationship in your life where it's reciprocal, you both feed each other, you both can be honest with each other, and you love each other because of that. And when you find that relationship, that's a healthy relationship. No judgment. You can be open, you can talk openly, there's no judgment. Let me just go back and have a look. Oh, you're welcome, Sarah, that's beautiful. I miss Sarah going. You do a lot of questioning, Laura. Yeah, then we're going to be working on that, right? You're going to let me work on it with you. I'm going to wake you up to that. Yes, Jane always talks about her relationship with her husband. What a lovely soulmate with your relationship. Yeah, I get you, Lauren, I do. And that you're welcome, Lisa. That's just my experience. But I can tell you now, as much as my experience is my experience, I share the experience with so many people. This whole journey has taught me that so many people are on the same path. It blows me away. Not everybody does the work though, so I can tell you now, you can have that intense connection with someone and somebody just run and go into denial and never do the work that's required. So when I heard about the girl that was getting married to someone else, I was like, she's been rewarded for what she's done. She's worked really, really hard to try and understand that situation. Oh, hey. Oh, thank you so much. The Scaled Raven. It sounds absolutely beautiful, but I don't know what your name is, so I'm just going to say thank you so much, and you are most welcome. Big journey for Librans at the moment. Yes, I agree with you, Gigi, but so many people think that the physical component of a relationship is the most important thing. And, to some degree, I guess the physical aspect of the relationship is incredibly important. We're all passionate people who need to express, our love. And physically is a way we get to do that. But if you are in a relationship purely because physically getting what you want, eventually you start to realise that it's not enough. You need the deeper energy of really getting to know someone. So I often wonder how amazing it must be for people to have the physical and the emotional. In a healthy relationship where you have both going on, it must be intense, really. But you'll know what I mean. Yeah, see, Jules has said the same thing. And I think a lot of people do, Jules. But like I said to you, the girl that wrote to me has been on the journey for a long time, and I've been lucky to have been part of that with her. So I could not be more thrilled than hearing that she met someone she was getting married. It's just a beautiful story, and I feel like it's going to happen for a lot of people. I've done a lot of readings where it's sort of come up, where somebody will get someone else. It will be sent in. If you've done the work, then you're going to meet someone who's vibrating at you. We've been talking about that, the Scaled Raven. Some people are getting the voice really clearly, and other people are getting it cut out all the time. So just something to do with YouTube. I tried using headset. It's a Slayer. I tried using a headset, but it just didn't make any difference. So I'm sorry. I'm going to get someone to look at my computer, but I'm pretty sure, considering all the people I'm getting, there's something to do with YouTube. But anyway, I guess I better get going. It's been a fantastic conversation. I'm so glad I got to talk about this because, as I said, I've had such beautiful emails lately from people who come into union with their twins, are still waiting to come into union with their twins, who still have faith and trust that the universe is working on their behalf. So there's still people doing that out there, and some people who've managed to do the journey and move on. So, it's for you too, it's Joanne. You're welcome, Jules. Thank you so much for being with me on this journey. You make my heart so warm with the things you say. Thank you. And I will see you next week for another deep and meaningful conversation. So you're having trouble too. I'll get onto it this week and getting somebody in to have a look at. We have another Florida person. Yeah, see, there you go, Lauren. Spontaneity. All right, I'll see you next week. Take care. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, please. Thank you. You too, Jeanette. Bye.